Bună ziua! O să încep în limba română, deși webinarul se va desfășura în limba engleză. Eu sunt Alina Floroi și mă ocup de marketing la 3D și de asemenea de dezvoltarea platformei educaționale pentru școli și companii create de noi pe nume Protoshop. Astăzi vor vorbi Alexandru Dobre, Managing Director al 3D 3D care este importator unic al imprimantelor 3D industriale BigRep în România, și Filip Rellermeier, care este Key Account Manager la BigRep pentru Europa, Orientul Mijlociu și Africa. De asemenea, vă prezentăm, în spatele lui Alex este o imprimantă 3D BigRep G2, Studio G2. Astăzi, prezentarea va dura 3 sferturi de oră și va fi urmată de o sesiune de întrebări și răspunsuri pe care o voi modera eu. Nu ezitați să puneți întrebări în română sau engleză, apăsând butonul pe care scrie Q&A, Q și A, pe care îl aveți în partea de jos a ecranului, oricând de-a lungul prezentării, și eu voi prelua întrebările la sfârșit. Acum îi voi lăsa pe vorbitori să vă salute. Let's switch to English. Alex and Philip, you have the floor.
Okay, Alina, I'll start. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who joined our webinar. I hope that you're going to find it very useful for you guys, and hope you're going to enjoy it. I'll start with presenting the agenda for this webinar. First of all, we'll start with a short presentation of our company, 3D. Then I'll let Philip dive into presenting BigRep company, and he will also do a product overview of the products BigRep is developing and producing. Then I'll jump back into the presentation to present some successful cases of companies that implemented additive manufacturing with BigRep, and we'll see some success stories and very nice examples for products and concepts and tools that were produced with BigRep. And in the end, we will have a Q&A session, and that's pretty much our webinar for today. Philip, before I'll let you jump into your presentation, I'll have to say that we are offering a 50% discount for the participants who are live with us today for a large-scale printed object with our Studio G2 3D printer, which we have here in Brasov. And we are also offering a free live one-on-one demo here in Brasov at our office or via Zoom for everyone who's interested in finding out more info about every BigRep printer. So let me tell you some few words about our company. Our company is a 100% Romanian company specialized in 3D printing. We are offering 3D printing services, 3D CAD modeling service, and maintenance for 3D printers. We are also selling a wide range of 3D printers, filaments, and accessories that starts from the level of hobbyist to industrial level, such as BigRep 3D printers. Moreover, we are offering training and consulting services pre and post acquisition of 3D printers and of our services. And we are also an authorized partner of BigRep in Romania, and we are happy to resell their products. Moreover, we have a unique feature in Romania, which is our educational platform, which is called ProShop. And this platform we are developing with the help of Alina. Okay, so this is 3D. And Philip, please tell us more about BigRep and let's go deeper into what BigRep is doing.
Yes, thank you, Alexandru, and thank you, Alina, for the nice introduction. A warm welcome also from my end here to all the participants. Thanks for joining. I'm sitting here in Berlin in our headquarters where BigRep is born and still is active here. We have not a very long history. We were founded in 2014, where some nice people invented the BigRep 1. They said, well, let's go large scale. We want to do big prints. And due to the actual situation that manufacturing industry is looking out, and there's competitive global market for reducing costs and lead times, and they also are able to go in innovative directions, helps the additive manufacturing market to have an annual growth of 25%. We have industrial leaders like Ford, Kawasaki, Airbus, and more that show expansion of their prototyping and R&D applications in this direction until tooling and small end-use parts. We are a German manufacturer, a German company here, and we, let's say, are in terms of large-scale industrial 3D printers. We have had a growth of 60% in the last year, 2019. How do we do it globally? We are a market leader in large format 3D printers, positioned with a global reseller network and over 500 existing units, existing customers in the place, which is our installed existing base. Yeah, we have technology-wise, we capitalize on its installed base with recurring life cycle services, where we are an increasing technology offering for industrial applications to offer the existing customers add-on values. Yeah, our reliable systems are also evolving with IoT and Industrial 4.0 technology because that's the future. And BigRep is there a lead in this option to the AM industry. To give you an overview of our solutions, we have this chart where you can see our machines that we have in our program to offer, and also the level of service that we have. You see the 3 machines, and then you see the different levels of the platform, and then the processes. We have also the materials and the applications. Let's say the 2 printers that you see here on the left side, the BigRep 1 and the Studio, is one of the platforms that are in the applications of prototyping forms and molds. The Studio goes also into patterns and molds and jigs and fixtures with a direct drive extrusion, right? That is, let's say, more on the standard polymer side. If you go more industrial, engineered grade polymers, we have also the Studio, but also our BigRep Pro developed, which has a metering extruder technology, which is a very fast printing technology. Here you can also go into end-use parts, spare parts, and production tooling. Okay. Can you just go back, because that was too quick? The product advantages. I mean, our focus is on large-scale format printing, up to 1 square meter, right? So that's very important to understand. That's where we come from, and that's where we also look in the future at the moment. We have an unmatched speed in terms of FFF, like extrusion technology, especially with a metering extruder, as I just mentioned. We have our own engineered grade filaments, but also third-party material compatibility for customers' flexibility. So we are not closed to our own materials, but we have an open system. Another benefit is that we are an industry leader, expertise in large format, because we have a lot of applications and an own consultancy in this direction called Now Lab. We cooperate with companies like Bosch for our Pro printing machine to have high industrial components to offer trusted industrial processes in advanced hardware.
Okay.
Thank you. Can you move on, please?
Sure, let's move on.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we have at the moment more than 500 sold systems in the market. Here you can see the growth by region in this short period of time with BigRep. How do we do that? Of course, we count on partnerships around the globe. As you can see on the right side of the slide, we have the headquarters based in Berlin, but we have another facility in Boston, covering the North and South American market, as well as in Singapore, an office which is taking care of our APAC market customers.
Okay, should we move on?
Yes, please. Here, well, why BigRep? It's a good question. We are not alone on the market, but I would like to give you a picture here where we stand. Keep in mind, we are focusing on large-scale print volumes. You see here very clear what kind of, let's say, services we want to cover. That's why I'm not talking only about products, I'm talking about solutions. You see, we have the components here, hardware, which we offer, of course, the printer. We have the filaments, which we can offer, which are perfectly matched to the applications, and our machines are matched to that. We offer a service to maintain our technology, the services in place with the customers. We have a software and also a consulting if a customer would like to adapt their processes into their manufacturing processes. We offer consultancy as well. And that's why we see us in a leading position, as you can see here. We want to offer cost-effective 3D printing, and manufacturing requires industrial compatibilities and third-party compatible material systems. Again, our advantages here, we have a complete end-to-end solution and open system to print other materials as well, industrial and the industrial processes. We have a high quality industrial grade system, supported engineering grade materials. And of course, we have a very large industrial installation base around the globe.
Cool.
One more, please.
Sure, sure.
This gives you here an overview on our existing materials, filaments that we offer. You see let's say the normal polymers like PLA or Pro HD, high temp, PETG, but we also go in other directions like carbon reinforced materials, PETCF, for example. We have a nylon PA666 available, and supporting material like BVOH, which can be flushed out with water at the end of the printing process. Keep in mind, these are not all the materials. It gives you just an idea of what we have. We are constantly testing materials every day on our machines and until we have them ready for the market. So existing customers with an existing machine from BigRep now and then have additional materials to print on their existing machines. They come in different sizes, as you can see it on the right side. beginning with a 0.75 kilogram small spool, 2.5, 4.5, up to 8 kilo. That's the biggest spool that we have for big prints, so that you avoid of refilling the material during a print.
Or if you have a big print.
Yes, exactly. Can you do one slide more, please?
Sure.
Here's some examples of the printed parts in different materials. You see the snap hook at the left upside in PLA that was printed on the one that is capable to carry the one. So
How heavy is it?
The printer, it's, I think,
very heavy. I think
yes,
more than 500
heavy.
kilos.
Yes, more than 500 kilos. And it's the picture you see in the back is actually hanging on this snap hook.
Yes, yes. That's impressive.
You have automobile prototypes. You can see here in PLX material. We have the Pro HD made of the rims made of Pro HD, for example. This autonomous production vehicle is made of high temp material. Then we have another example that is an eco wall. So there is a wall made of PTG, and this is outside of a building, can be like a few meters high, filled up with different plants, and there is a rinsing system inside where the water goes through to provide the water to the plants. The Tpu example is a very interesting complete wheel, which is a softened outside TPU and hardened, let's say more a stiff inside rim from the same material in one print. Then you see a hydrant made of PA 666, white tough material, and also I think that are molds made of PET, carbon reinforced PET.
Great.
Next slide, please. I would like to have a better focus on our Studio G2, since Alexandru has this unit in the back. You see it running here on a print for a customer. This studio machine is, yeah, let's say one of our machines. I would
Can I move to the next slide?
Yes, please. Have a look on that one. Main applications for the Studio G2 are jigs. Let's say two main applications is jigs and fixtures. What do they need? They need engineered grade filaments. They should be durable and cost effective. Of course, in large dimensions, large form and flexibility. Then the other applications are design and functional prototyping. Easy to use, proven platform. This is Studio G2, so second generation of our studio. It's a proven concept. Let's say we learned from our past and we improved all the elements, and so that's the second generation. Even there, you can also print low-cost materials on that, like in PLA or even ASA is not that expensive, and it's a high material actually, UV resistant and weather resistant. Yeah, and it's also optimal for any workspace, including offices. That's why you see that in the back of Alexandru. The reason is why we invented that was the one is a quite big printer with a 1 cubic meter of print space, and we wanted a smaller one to fit into offices. That's the solution what we have, yeah, it fits in offices. It can work beside your desk if you want. Next one, please. As mentioned below, it's that our customers are expecting high engineering grade materials. That is possible with the G2 because the nozzles are made of tool steel, so it can use also and print also high, can I say, filaments that are abrasive. like carbon reinforced materials. These extruders are specially designed to have the maximum speed with the most demanding materials, and keep the option also for the demanding properties of the parts. Next one, please.
Sure.
This printer is fully enclosed, other than with the one which is completely open. This one is closed. This gives us the chance to have a constant temperature in the print space. It offers the user to have easy access to the printed parts when you open the front door, for example, to have access to the complete print bed. Even here you can monitor the print because you have the glass doors. Even a camera is installed and can be watched through the internet, so you can see the complete print process wherever you are on the globe. Next, please. Yeah, you have a fast heating print bed. It's important. So I think if you go up to 80 degrees, it takes, with a normal room temperature, it takes like 15 to 20 minutes. So you are ready to go. You have a safety on the doors as well. So if you open the door, it will stop the print because there are sensors that communicate with the printer. And then you can restart the print wherever you have stopped.
Okay.
Next one. You have a heated filament chamber because there is very important to have, let's say, dry filaments because filaments like nylon, for example, they or even TPU, they absorb water and liquid from the air, and it's difficult to print. So whenever you open up a new spool, you can put it there, you heat it up, and it's covered. And it's you can set the temperature of both of the filament chambers, where the space for up to 8 kilogram spool each. Same with a printing chamber. Also there you have a heating control system, which you can set.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, what are the unique selling points with the G2? We have versatility, compact, and a proven concept. Yeah, versatility means like you have a variety of engineering grade materials thanks to our abrasion resistant fiber extruders. You have a high speed with this, even to keep the mechanical properties of the applications that you need. The filaments are polyamides, ABS, carbon fiber filaments, PET CFs, for example. Yeah, all specialized for large format printings. Compact means it fits to almost any door. Yeah, the print space is a quarter cubic meter, so that means 1 meter long and 500 by 500 millimeter high and depth. A proven technology because it's the second generation of our studio printer. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Just to give you an outlook, what we're working on and what we have already with the Pro. Speed is always a very important factor in 3D printing. Everyone knows that. We had discussions with our investors on if we had the money, what would we do? And we said clearly speed, improve the speed of our printers. So we invested in the MXT technology. It's a BigRep invention that has filament will be heated in a certain chamber and will then be extruded. So that gives gives a full speed to the complete process. Even agile component, German engineered tools or parts. That means that you are very fast in in the start and stop and move around corners. It's a quite dynamic response of this technology. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much, Philip, for this very nice presentation, introduction to the wide range of products BigRep is offering, 3D printers. And I have to say that we are at 3D, we're very happy with our Studio G2 3D printer. And indeed, it is a very good printer and it's quite versatile. So right now I would like to continue with some success stories from companies that are using BigRep 3D printers. And from this slide, you can see that BigRep has a very wide range of partners. And Philip mentioned Kawasaki, Airbus, Ford, and also you can see here they have a partnership with Autodesk, other filament producers, CAD software companies that are producing software for 3D printing. So as you know, and from our experience, we know that 3D printing is really adopted in companies that are really keen on manufacturing, and companies such as Ford, Airbus, and many others. When they're producing large parts, they have a lot of challenges, especially because they have very big facilities and they need to produce large parts. And here we see a picture from a Kawasaki factory, and you can have like a very good image of how does it look inside of there and how complex it's such a facility. For this sort of facilities and production plants, they need a lot of jigs and fixtures, like Philip mentioned. This sort of printer the G2 is very good for that. And by the time a company is investing in additive manufacturing in a 3D printer, they use a traditional way, like either they outsource the parts to a third party. They would design it, they would outsource it, they would wait for that part to come into the production plant. They will need to validate it, and God forbid, if something goes wrong, they'll need to send it back. So that means losing time and money, and it really slows up the production, where it's very ineffective. Another approach is to do all this vertically and still use old-fashioned procedures with CNC. And you can see here in the Ford, for instance, for producing a fixture, they would plot the clamp, they will still design it, they will manually work on it. And you will see you have like 6 steps that you will need to follow. Still, this is a very slow way of producing internally, and that takes a lot of time and money. But for instance, Ford, when they introduced BigRep in their company, they see that with additive manufacturing, even for large products that they need to produce for their, or large parts they need to produce for their production facilities, they use like only 3 steps. They will need to design the fixture, they will need to print it hands-free, and then they will need to mount it. And with the help of 3D printers, you can actually be very quick, because it's a very fast iterative process. So companies like Kawasaki and Ford, when they really implemented the additive manufacturing with the BigRep in their production plants, they actually increased their efficiency and productivity very significantly. And here we can see some numbers. For instance, Kawasaki, for their jigs and fixtures, they increased their cost, they saved cost with 85%, and they gained a lot of 2 hours of lead time. For other industries like construction and steel, we can see that with other BigRep 3D printers like BigRep 1, you can do casting patterns and construction molds. Also, doing this large parts from one piece also saves you a lot of time, and compared with other additive manufacturing solutions like the smaller printers, where you need to like slice the part and then put it together. Still, it's a hands-on manufacturing approach. With BigRep, can actually save time, and the part is really, from a structural point of view, much sturdier and much stable. So definitely you can win-win-win with implementing BigRep in your company. For Ford, for instance, they did production aids. Ford is has implemented the additive manufacturing for around 30 years in their company. So they were a lead adapter, let's say, a lead user. But after they introduced the BigRep in their company, they were able to do this custom design for their production aids. They were able to they enabled a lot of their employees to use the printers, so they would rapidly prototype and develop this production aids. And you can see that they gained a very good lead time. They saved 94%. And they saved costs around 75%.
Alexandro, when I just can step in, if you allow.
Sure.
Just to add something on Ford, they have a one, and they have a second one is the Pro that they bought.
Yeah.
They were doing this, what you see on the picture here, the window frame. They were using very, let's say, outsourced tooling here for that takes them 10 to 12 weeks. This is actually for positioning sensors in the window frame.
Yes.
So outsourcing waiting time, lead time of 10 to 12 weeks. So now they print them in 3 days and they're ready to go.
There you go. So here you go. This is such a significant gain for a company after introducing the BigRep in their facilities, and everything is vertical right now, and it is way much faster. Companies also, they can use these large-scale 3D printers for product development. You can see here with BigRep one, you can produce furniture or concept designs, and you can also use with Pro end use parts because of their high quality prints. So as I said earlier, you can also do a lot of concept design. Even if you're a big company or a small company, for instance, Airbus produced these cases for, do you remember it was batteries? Or,
maybe I just
sure.
add something here to Airbus, which is also, I think, quite an important or interesting project where you can see what 3D printing can make available and happen is with Airbus, we had the, let's say, the challenge that they have to service special technical components, air components around the globe.
Yes.
To send them to the main service hubs in another region. These components, they cost like 20 to 30,000 euro each. So what we did is now we took the file, CAD file of this component, and the software creates a box around this component. This box, as you see it here, is made of TPU.
It's
so
TPU, yes.
It's TPU, but outside is very hard TPU, and inside you have a very soft, flexible material. So that fits perfectly inside this box and is covered and can be shipped without any damages.
Actually, I've seen this case, the Formax last year. It is very effective, and indeed, I know that initially Airbus did it with also other type of manufacturing tools, like with wire jetting. They will need to cut this sort of box, and they need to use some 3D scanners. Indeed, it was a long process in order to produce them. And now, of course, with BigRep and with the TPU material, you can print them in one piece, and they're very versatile and very effective. Another good example is you don't need to you have spare parts, and you can also you don't need to use a space for depositing your spare parts. You can just print it if you have a printer in your shop. So whenever you have the need, you just print it. You don't need to use a lot of space to for storage of spare parts. So this is another good advantage of having a large-scale 3D printer. And of course, you have customer products. If you don't have you can do like a small series of products with large 3D printers, small series production. So this also saves you a lot of money, because if you will need to create a mold, that will be very expensive. So you can see that there's a lot of applications you can use with the large-scale 3D printer, and there's a lot of advantages. So that's why many companies, and we've seen from the field presentation, over 500 printers were sold on the market, which is quite good for such printers. So I'd like to move on to exploring some creative horizons with big prints produced with BigRep, and I'm going to showcase an example later on that we used in our company. But before that, you can obviously see that you can design prototypes, and you see that bathtub that it was printed on a scale of 1 to 1 in 3 weeks. Then you have the bike from Now Lab, from BigRep, which is 100% functional. So you have a functional prototype which you can validate, and it's 100% 3D printed. And there are other, like in the aerospace industry, where you can always test new concepts. And you have the example here with aircraft cabin interiors, which you can make, you can develop and iterate very fast with such a 3D printing. In our company, we did print this very nice chair. I have it here with me. It's a terrace stool. I can show it to you. It is very nice. It's very light. It has 1 kilo. And what we did use the nice feature of G2, the camera inside, to do a time lapse with it. And I will be very happy to show it to you here to see how fast the printer worked. It took 1.5 days to print it, and it's I can say it's a functional prototype. I did sit on it, and I have 82 kilos. So it is a very good chair. We did print it in Pro HT, and please let me show you in 1 minute the time lapse that we did. Just 1 second. Okay. Just bear with me one second here. Oops. Something went wrong here.
Go full screen.
Full screen. I'll do that. Oops. Oh my God.
Yeah, it will work in a second.
Yes.
Just a little patience with technology. On the square, right?
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Yes. Here. And I'll play it from beginning.
Yes.
You see, we started somewhere midday, and the chair is quite big, as you've seen it. And the Studio G2, as Philip mentioned, has the power extruder. So usually, if you would have a small printer, you can still print this chair, but you need to slice it, and you need to glue it, and perhaps it will take you maybe 1 week to have it done. But you can see here that with the BigRep Studio G2, time flies by, and we were able to monitor the printer from outside our office with the help of the camera that the Studio G2 has inside. And we had no worries actually when we saw that how fast and how good the print looks. So we had a very good sleep during that print. Usually, who knows anything about 3D printing, when you have like an overnight print or prints that will last for 4 days, usually it's very hard to sleep because you know, a lot of things can happen. For instance, you can see that the printer has a captain sheet on their back, which is very good because it helps with providing stability for the print. And we also used glue to make sure that the print will stick. And it's one very good thing that the bed is not moving. And of course, for such a big printer, it is obvious it's not moving, but if it would move, you have the danger of moving the object from the build plate. So you see here that the print went very fine, and we were able to have a successful print. And as I said, BigRep 3D printing is not only for big companies. It can also be very useful for any designer that you know, has a very good idea and wants to produce it. I can have also a sure.
Do you know how long it takes to print that chair?
Sure, 1 day and a half.
What? 1 day and a half. Okay.
1 day and a half. Yes. Okay, so I'd like to summarize here how BigRep 3D printers can unlock profit instantly. And when I'm saying profit, you can think about money and time, but it's more than that. For instance, being a reliable printer comes with the fact that it is produced in Germany, and you have German quality, and you have this German engineering machine, which is reliable and very well thought, and you have different generations of machine. It means that this is a mature technology. You have fast returns, and when you say fast returns, you think about speed with which the printer works. It is very easy to operate these printers because from what I've seen, they work basically like a CNC machine, and because of their, most of them, they are closed like the Studio G2. You have no worries when you print with ABS, for instance, or with sensitive materials to the printing environment. So it's very easy to operate these printers. And as I said, because you're able to monitor the printer from anywhere, you can act very fast if you see something that is not going right. Also, it has a high efficiency in the sense that, as I said, you can print very fast, and it can also provide you flexibility in terms that you can print big prints, and you can also do small series batches. For instance, with the BigRep Studio G2, because it has this 0.6 nozzle, you can have also smaller prints, which you can lay on this very big print bed. But you can also very well do big prints. So this provides you a lot of flexibility. And moreover, because you can use a lot of these materials from BigRep, you can have also flexibility in terms of applications for the products you want to print. The added value of these printers comes from the fact that you can innovate with this sort of printers. You can have end-use parts because of their quality of the machines and of the products they are creating. And of course, you're future ready with this sort of machines because you can move much faster than traditional production methods. And the best example is, for instance, what the Now Lab is doing with their concept car and their concept motorcycle. So you can move much faster into the future with having such printers in your shop. So basically, we've reached a point where we would be happy to take questions from our guests. And let's see, Alina, do we have any questions? Or
Yeah, sure.
Philip, do you want to add anything?
Before
what I
that,
said?
yeah, Philip, if you have anything to add, and everybody, please shoot your questions in the Q&A panel, which is right on the bottom of the screen.
Well, thank you. I have nothing to add for the moment. I think there's a lot of things to tell more, definitely, but we have a limited of time. Everyone has limited of time. Yeah, feel free to ask your questions.
Yeah.
And be sure it's not the last webinar or demonstration, or we can always
And more.
Yeah, have more.
Yeah, well, we are here to answer all your questions, but also you can contact us afterwards. You have our contacts at the end of the presentation, and we are available for demonstrations, as Alex has said. Or so I will ask Alex the first question, which is how can a company start a collaboration with a 3D Dot if they are not very sure that they are going to buy the BigRep, but they want to get to know it? How do you see this
Yes.
relationship go?
That's a very good question. So we have this printer in our shop, and as I said in the beginning, the first step to know the printer is to do a print. And once again, I'm restating our beautiful offer here. Just go ahead and write us an email, and you will benefit from a 50% discount of a print that we can do for you with our Studio G2 3D printer. And before you send us the email, before going into print, we will have a discussion in order to understand exactly your needs. We need to understand exactly for what you're going to use the parts so that we will give you the best recommendation possible. And if you're going to see value, if you're going to see a return of investment from printing this part, then of course you can apply for European Union funds. You can, if you're a bigger company, you can allocate money to save in order to buy a printer. And we will also be able to give you the best advice in order to choose the best printer for you from the BigRep range of printers. Because you can use, if you have like a concept part that you want to use only PLA, maybe you can use BigRep 1. If you want to do jigs and fixtures, you have a Studio G2. And if you want to use, you do like a functional big part, maybe you can go with the BigRep Pro.
All right. I'm going to ask Philip now how he can describe the process inside a company where they would produce something new. And in addition, there is a question, will we need a scanner or just code for new projects? So if you can explain maybe for some people who are not very accustomed to 3D prototyping, how this works.
Yeah, so normally you design, like you need a digital file for the printer. So that means you have a software, a CAD software where you design your parts, and they then need to be reworked in our slicing software. This slicing software comes in the package with BigRep. We have our own slicing software. That means the CAD file will be transferred into layers, like cutting layers. So it's so-called a G code, so that the printer understands what it has to do, like which line does it has to go, how much of filament does he have to put out, what is the temperature of the nozzle, what's the temperature of a print bed. All the information are in this G code. And for that, you need a digital file. Normally, in a lot of cases, you have that because you work with CAD files, with CAD programs, software already. In other areas, like design or arts or architecture, even sometimes it's a bit difficult. But of course, there are scanners on the market, which is not our portfolio. But these scanners, they transfer real objects into digital. I mean, this is also possible. Yes, exactly. This is also a way to do that.
Yeah, I would like to remind everybody that BigRep is really a great tool to have in the automotive industry, in the aerospace industry, also for any kind of designers. If you are a furniture designer, it can be really useful because a big revolution is about making big stuff, big parts. And you can also, in our times when you don't want to be dependent on shippings from the other side of the world, you want to be able to produce your own things right here, right now, and resolve anything that comes on the spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alina.
We have a question from Marianne. Can we print big parts from ABS on BigRep? And do you have ABS filament original from BigRep?
Yes, we have ABS. ABS can be printed on the G2, as you have a demo unit in the back, Alexandru.
Yes.
And also with a BigRep Pro machine. And we have
it's a closed printer, and you can have a controlled heated chamber, and
yeah,
you should be able to easily print ABS.
Yeah.
There is a question for both of you. How do you see the situation when a client needs to print a lot of parts in the same time? Alex, if you want to ask
depends
first, and then Philip.
We'll switch to Philip, yes. So depending on how big is the part, as I said earlier, one of the values of let's say the G2 or a large scale 3D printer, which is closed and has a very generous build volume, is that you can do small batch sequential prints. So you can put a lot of prints on the back. For instance, with G2, you can also print smaller objects. I don't know, this is something small. Because of these of the 0.6 millimeter nozzle, which can provide you a very good resolution. And I know that the Studio G2 can also print with a layer height, let's say, of 0.2 easily. So this is a very good resolution. It's a standard resolution, and you can print that with a large printer like this. So you can definitely print, let's say, maybe 100 parts in one go with the Studio G2. And if you have like a chair like this, whoops, maybe you can print 3 chairs at once. So you can take this challenge, and I trust this printer that it can do it.
Yeah, let me just add something. Thanks, Alessandro. Sure. That's right. You can print more. You have the complete print bed. The software gives you possibilities how to do that. But also, if you learn more and more, we offer trainings for application specialists, how to design files, how to slice them, and positioning them. We have also the possibility, just want to mention that on the one, which is the cubic meter open printer, that you cut the print bed in half and have the option of a tandem function, so that the 2 extruders will be separated like from each other. The print bed is cut in half, let's say, and you can print 2 same parts at the same time. Okay, this is possible as an option with a BigRep 1.
So I would like to
like the chairs you have.
Yes.
Sorry, this is a good example that you can print them 2 at the same time.
It's very good that you said that you can offer BigRep is also consulting service. surface. This is a big difference in 3D printing because anyone who starts with the 3D printing, even for us, a company that has 4-year experience, we still need to learn a lot when we're printing with a printer like this. And I can say from my own experience that it is very easy to get in touch with the guys from BigRep to get information and good advice in order to have successful prints.
Yeah, just want to add something there, Alexander, because you said that it's very important for us. We have a strong relationship with our customers. Just want to give you an example. We have a client, which is a big company called ThyssenKrupp.
Yes.
Everybody should know them. When they bought their first printer a long time ago, they were quite happy, but they came with a result, with a list of items. They said, guys, if you improve in these, we will buy more. And we did. I mean, we did our homework, we improved these points, and at the end they bought 4 more printers. So just to give an idea, we don't just sell a printer. We want to understand the process of the customer, and we support our clients in their way. So it's very important that we get feedback from the clients in order to improve us and to improve our service and our machines.
And it's a full system. This is what I like. It's you see that other companies are able to provide a full system like that in terms of slicing, hardware, filament, software, and consulting. They're very strong competitors, let's say.
We should close soon, but before that, we have 2 more questions, and then we will remind our guests about how they can contact us. First, there is a question: what's the maximum size of a part that can be printed on the 3D printer you have in Brașov?
The build volume of the Studio G2 is 1 meter, so it's 100 centimeters on the y-axis, and on the x-axis it's 50 centimeters and 50 centimeters on Z. So it's 150 by 50. So it's a very generous build volume, I would say.
It's almost incredible. And another question, does the printer have the capability to print curved layers in order to avoid the stairs due to the thickness layer?
Oh, that's a technical question. So can you repeat the question, please? Curved layers?
Yeah, if you can print curved layers to avoid stairs.
I don't think, if you mean curved layers on Z-axis, you usually perhaps like, I don't know if it means like this. There are some printers that can print like this on curved layers on Z, which is quite difficult. But I think if you print layer by layer, you're still gonna have the stairs while you're going up on the Z. So
let's see what Philip has to say.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand that. Well, you always have this kind of lines in the surface because that's the technology of
additive manufacturing.
No,
you know,
FDM.
exactly, of the fused filament fabrication. So you have that. If you are like out for a totally flat surface, you need a post-processing, right? Or a different technology. Very simple.
You can sand it down, and this is basically one of the things that
but of course, we can do curved layers. You don't totally avoid the stairs, right?
Yes.
You can play with the design of the file and with the layer, of course, the slicing, and also with the thickness of the layer. Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of thing to approach and to learn. Also, we learn every day.
Also, for instance, even with this chair, which is a big part, you still need to post-processing. So it is nice after you have such a big part. If it's also a concept and you want to display it, you need to post-process it. But if you have like a functional part, like a jigsaw fixture, perhaps it will not count. So The application really matters when you want to have this like specs in terms of, okay, I don't want to see any steps, or I don't want to see the layers. If you use like a prime paint, you can also hide the layers.
I would like to show a bit of the layers, but I think,
you are showing your...
yeah, but I think you don't see the layers with my camera from the laptop.
If Alex wants to share full screen from you.
Because it's a very low layer.
Of the share screen.
Yeah.
Alex,
I don't know how to make those.
All right, no problem.
But yeah, please feel free to get in touch with us also after the webinar. We will help you find your answers.
All right, so you can find us on our website, ne găsiți pe www.3dedot.ro. Thank you everybody for joining us, and thanks Alex and Philip. And we'll also send the video to everybody.
Sure. Thank you guys. Thank you Alina. Thank you Philip.
Thank you.
And I hope that this webinar was very useful for you. And as Alina said, we will send it via email, the recording. Philip, you want to say something? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much for organizing and for your participation. We're here. Just contact us. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Stop share. And